What is going on, guys? My name is Lextasy and welcome to episode 5 of our 1,000 horsepower Dodge Charger LS build that we are doing with the boys. As you can tell, Adam and Nate are always here working on this bad boy. I have another 10 packages of things that came in to show you guys, but before we do that, we'll do it at the end of the video this time because we have a lot of stuff we need to go to the auto parts store and grab as well before they close because, well, we got to knock out a lot of things. Today, the game plan is to get the fuel tank out of here because if you've seen last video, we are doing the auxiliary tank, a 10-gallon tank in the trunk, which is already on the way, but that means we'll have to drain this tank and drop it and get rid of it because it's extra weight and we're not using it at all. By the way, if any of you guys are looking for a Walbro dual pump 525 LPH, I think, pumps system for the Dodge Chargers, let me know. I think it's good from 06 to like 17 or something because, well, since we're not using the fuel tank, I don't need it no more. So if somebody wants it, I'll give you a heck of a deal. Reach out to me on Instagram. I paid 800 bucks for it. I'll let it go for dirt cheap. So let's talk to Adam and Nate, of course. Thank you guys again for being here in negative 10-degree weather. Nate, you the man. Thank you.
You ain't got to tell me stuff I already know, man.
So what's the game plan today, bro? I know you said something about brakes.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of stopping power for all that forward power we got.
For the big yacht, huh?
Yeah, a little bit of stop for all the go.
So I see you're literally taking all the fittings, all the brake lines and everything?
So we do a lot of brake lines, like we do a lot of door car kit brakes and stuff.
Yeah.
So like on Mustangs, Camaros and stuff, we do a lot of brake line kits, which you can see we actually have a roll of brake line up there and all the fittings. All I'm doing is taking the factory fittings because they got these. I want to essentially use what the factory had.
Okay.
Make sure I can get a match to these fittings, and I'm gonna change everything over to new lines. We'll run new.
So why are we changing the lines? Why are we changing on the lines?
So this car, where it got salt on it, just underneath, it's got a lot of like powder look to it.
Okay.
And I don't know if the ABS box and stuff is gone now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna run them a little tighter tucked into the body.
Okay.
So we don't have the ABS box. And I'm gonna run the splitter the way that I want to run it so we can adjust the rear brakes.
Right, and speaking of that, you told me to buy this Willwood combination proportionate valve. So how exactly does that work?
So we'll come off the factory brake booster up here.
Yeah.
Run the two lines into this, and then you got a front out, and a rear out. So we'll run two new lines to each front brake because these got big ass front brakes on it from the factory.
Yep.
And then that rear, we'll run one line back and split off to each rear brake.
Okay. This
little valve here just adjusts to where it's, this is like 70-30 to begin with.
Oh, nice.
I think it's actually 60-40.
Yeah, 60-40.
60-40, 70-30. Don't bash me on the internet. I don't really know. But it proportions the brakes more on the front than the rear.
So 60 of upfront percent.
Yeah, and 40 on the rear.
Wow, okay.
This will allow us to change that. So like if we want to do burnouts with just brakes, instead of doing I'll show you how to do trans brake burnouts too.
Oh, God.
So you can do a lot of different stuff.
That's insane.
It'll lock the front and then...
That doesn't hurt the trans?
No.
Don't question, but... Wow.
No, we do it every now and then. We'll do it with mine. My trans guy is not a big fan of it, but he knows it happens. And he tells us that all the time.
He knows that happens.
Yeah. The only reason we do it is whenever you get on like real bad surfaces in the car. If you have the car neutered so much where it don't make a whole lot of low end power, it wants to push the car a little bit. So we'll just put it on the brake, let it spin, boost up, and then let the brake go a little big burn.
So literally no ABS, no traction control. This is it for the brakes, man. So you can control when they lock up on everything.
Straight line, dude.
Wow,
the reason
bro.
we're changing all these too is because you don't want to have 1,500 different pieces.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the reason we are converting over? Why do people do that? Why not?
The ABS on here, one, if you run bigger wheels in the rear than the front, it's going to freak this ABS out.
That's true. We got slicks. Okay,
and two, we cut all the wiring out of this thing, so the ABS box is like a factory body control module, so we're not going to have any of that. As far as traction control, though, we can still buy an aftermarket traction control and put on this car, and it's really not that expensive now, but for the type of racing we're doing, it doesn't really make sense.
This is real as it gets, guys. I don't think you understand. Like, this is me having to be as manly as possible and being able to learn this car and drive it. Because I am going to daily drive this too, and I don't know if you noticed, but we got massive slicks on the back as well, so we're not messing around. I want to daily it like that. I don't mind being on ET Street R's. It's not a big deal as long as you get stuck in no snow or rain or anything like that. You should be fine, and we are going to do skinnies up front as well. They're not that bad? Is that what you say? Okay.
In the rain. It's not. It's not crazy, but it ain't real.
Well, if you're going straight, you're fine. But
on there, you'll live. Much more than that, it's getting quick.
yeah, you're screwed. Ain't them about 45?
Around here.
With that, like, man, Nate is awesome. And to just show you guys what Adam's talking about, man, you can really see all this salt on here. We got most of it out on the interior, but the exterior is just still covered. And this been, bro, it's been a year and a half since I got this car from the Hurricane Ian. So all this stuff is just sitting there, especially on those brake lines, man. You can see the axle, the little bit of little surface rust on there as well. We'll see how long that bad boy lasts. But so basically, we're breaking all these lines off at the caliper, right? Is what you were saying, Adam?
Yeah.
And then
We'll reuse these rubber lines because the rubber lines are still good. Get up in here to these fittings. See that fitting there?
Yeah. All the way in
break
there.
that fitting loose. We'll put a new 3/16 brake line in it. Run these two together.
So where do they go? Are they on the passenger side or where are they running?
Yeah, we'll put them wherever we want to.
Right.
Right now, they're running right through here.
Oh, I see them.
They come up, spider across. We'll probably cross, come down, run it up through here.
Yep.
This point somewhere, and probably shoot it across right there. No.
Yeah, because I mean, we got what, an inch at the bottom of the motor, so we're good there. And plus, this fuel tank is not going to be in the way since we're getting rid of it now. Man, I'm learning something new with Adam every single time, bro. We're trying to figure out how the wiring is going to go since we removed the old harness and we're going to need the new one put in. So he's just hooking up to the battery to figure out if it's a turn. Oh, that's so cool.
Green is brakes, purple is running lights, and then brakes come on.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, because turn signals, hazards, running lights, all one deal. Yeah. That's
Reverse.
the backup lights.
How come I've seen sometimes where the reverse light is like a trans brake light or something? Is that right?
Yeah, so anytime you put one on the trans brake, it's putting it in first and reverse at the same time.
Well, guys, this is the old fuel tank. Now, I'm going to show you the reason why we said we can't use this, and we actually went to an auxiliary 10-gallon tank that we got coming in, because you got two pumps. You got the main pump that actually feeds it to the motor, and then you have a transfer pump that runs a little line across into the other side, because this tank is divided into two pieces. And so in order for us to be able to use this with the Holley system, I actually would have to buy a single pump on each basket and literally have a fuel sending unit here and one on that side, sending it to the motor, which was like double the price. So it was like $2,000 to do it that way. Or we just buy an auxiliary tank with built-in pumps already for $700. All right, guys, we're starting to make some progress thanks to Tyler over there taking a quick break, man. He's been killing it. He's got that brake line ran all the way from the back, and as you can tell, behind the K-member comes out here, and then well, we gotta, as you can tell, the brake cylinder and master cylinder is missing, because we gotta figure the next part out. Adam, what are we running into?
Well, this thing is metric, I believe, compared to standard brake size,
Which is weird.
So I just gotta find two fittings here that I can essentially makeshift this to go from the factory Dodge lines to a 3/16 line to make it standard.
To the proportionate valve,
Yep.
right? Okay,
so we'll run out. This will go to the rear end, front end, and then we'll run the single rear out, which we've already ran to the back of the car, already teed it in, and then we'll have to run the two front lines, which will be easy because they're already 3/16 lines, and we'll use the factory Dodge fitting, flare a new line, put it right back into the factory spot.
Like it never even was messed with, huh?
Never mess with.
And that's something we were talking about, Adam was talking about, is like the things you don't see on YouTube, man. You know, they show you these awesome builds like it just happened overnight, and you just don't realize how much goes into it. But this is one-of-a-kind builds. Like, no joke, the amount of time and effort and money that we're putting into this car, it's not like a cheap job either, man. We're taking our time, make sure this thing's gonna come out super good quality. I gotta say, dude, it seems like not a lot here, but I cannot wait when this thing goes right back in here. I bet you by I would say another 3-4 times of work on this, and you're gonna see this thing almost ready to fire up. Ladies and gentlemen, and we got the brake lines going. Look at this sweet job Tyler did here. So it starts there in the back, goes all the way to the front, follows the way the old lines ran, comes around here, and now circle around here, and everything from both sides and the front axles, everything loops right into the proportion valve. And it's literally done, guys. It looks super clean. I love it. So the next step is to fill up the tank, of course, with brake fluid. I think we got DOT4, and I'll bleed the brake lines and see how it goes from there, guys. I'm excited. We did a heck of a good job, man. The team knows what they're doing, and I love it because brakes are something I definitely want to make sure is done right, so I don't end up doing 150 and then have no brakes at the end of the track. That would definitely suck. Well, you don't think I hit 150?
Going 180.
Oh, 180, fantastic, bro. No shooter brakes, I love it. Let's start mashing the brakes, guys. We got the fluid in there. Got to slowly get that bleed going. You can hear the air. Oh, no, air's gone. Just got to get a little leg workout here. I told you guys Adam knows what he's doing. Look at that, man. Holy snap. This feels like a regular brake pedal. Wait, what, Nate?
Yeah, what, Nate?
You'll get credit too, though, right? Nate was here too, guys. Yeah, everybody helped
Yeah, I was holding the chair down.
Man, that feels so freaking good. Time to test out these brakes and see how they work. So I got Nate in there.
On 24s.
Where'd Nate go? He's somewhere down there.
Yeah.
All right. Spinning. Spin. Ooh, locked up like a charm, bro.
Hey, you want to see how much brake pedal you got?
What?
You want to see how much? That's it.
Oh yeah, dude, I love that. Yep. Boom. Nice. All right, guys, so we got the transmission in. Now, this isn't mine, but it is exactly the same power guide that we're going to be using. Now, we got to measure the length of the drive shaft that we're going to need from the drive shaft shop. I could have sworn it looks like Adam was saying also that this differential and the transmission, everything kind of sits to the passenger side. I don't know if you guys can see it as well. And I'm trying to be directly on that line, for example, and you can tell that the drive shaft sits a little bit closer on the passenger, which is kind of weird, but we're gonna have to do some modifications with the hammer here to make sure that it all fits, so that's not gonna be an issue once we drop the transmission. But we need a drive shaft from Drive Shaft Shop, and then we're gonna start piecing this transmission mount to make it sit. I think they said we're gonna run one from this side and then straight across, and then a little bracket to actually sit right here and to mount on it, right? Is that the right way, Adam?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we'll use 1-inch DOM tubing, run a piece across.
Okay.
And take a piece of angle here. We'll put the tubing behind it, drill the holes in it where the angle, where we can bolt through the angle. Then we'll tack weld it in, make sure it's good where we want it, because these are at a little bit of an angle too.
Yeah.
So I have to mark the tubing. We'll weld everything in, and it should be set to go, strong as ever.
And before we end this video, as I promised, let's look at more parts that came in for our 1,000 horsepower Dodge Charger build, guys. That was last week's load. This is this week's, and then next week is going to be even bigger because, well, we have a lot of big parts coming in, like the racing cage for the car with the seat harnesses, the torque converter. A lot of big parts are coming in that we really need to put together and get that Charger running. I am so excited because this is, besides the F-150 1,000 horsepower build that I've done, this one really tops the cake on that, because I think on that one I spent, well, it wasn't supposed to top the cake, and I'm not going to say how much I spent on this one, but last one was about 20 grand. I think this one is going to be more than that, a lot more than that. I don't know if you've done any math recently on this build, but guys, I kind of screwed up, man. The $13,000 quote that we thought we could stick to definitely got blown out of the water as soon as I bought that short block that's built already. That was like $6,000 by itself. So from this point on, I'm not cheaping out. I want this done right. I want it to run long time. And the first box of goodies that came in is all our turbo parts, or some of the turbo parts. So we have, these are, it's so freaking cool, man. I don't know how much it was, like 30, 40 bucks, but you got custom engraved Lextasy side exhaust X's that are gonna be for the fenders. So we're gonna mount these to not burn the fenders as much as we're going to with some hot heat and flames. But that's pretty cool. It's a little piece like this that's gonna make a really cool difference and make our car stand out. Then I have, of course, the little flanges and stuff like that we got coming in, and then reducing pipes as well that we'll need for the intakes. Just a bunch of miscellaneous things that we have to piece together. So it's not like there's an instruction manual for stuff like this to show you how to build it, man. It's all, you know, we're just piecing it together from what we can figure out and custom fabricate, and that's why I'm super thankful for Adam and his team for taking me along, because you know, it's one thing to put a car together, it's completely something else to be able to modify it and custom make it what it was never meant to be. You know, Charger's great and all with the 5.7 Hemi, but you put an LS swap with a completely different torque converter on there, transmission, suspension for the most part so far is going to stay pretty stock, because, well, we want to see how long it lasts before it blows up, so that's going to be an experiment in itself. Next one is our headers, guys, that we purchased as well. These are super cool, and of course they're going to be running towards the front of the car, because the turbos are going to be sitting in front of the motor, which is awesome. These were a few $100 as well. Everything is coming together, guys. That is so exciting, man. It's like Christmas every single day. Every time I come back from work, man, there's a new box or two boxes sitting in front of my door, so that's a good feeling. It also came, of course, with the exhaust gaskets. Then we got something super freaking cool. This is Motion Raceworks. If you guys know what that is, I'm pretty sure you guys know who Cletus is, especially if you watch YouTube much. Right here, from these guys right there, they make some high-end quality products. And ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves the 2-gear Power Glide shifter. This right here is going to run on CO2. This is all completely new to me, but look at how cool that is, man. That is going to be shifting, as you can tell, first, second gear, neutral, reverse, and park. It is unbelievable how it shifts. So this actually sits forward like that, and then you're gonna shift into reverse, put it in neutral, gotta push up for neutral, and then whenever it's race time, you start in first gear. So instead of me shifting up one gear, the O2 or the CO2 that we're gonna be running to this shifter itself through the Holley system is gonna be able to pop into second gear on the top end of the track. So that is freaking awesome. I can't really screw this up. I can't put it in reverse. I can't really do much. I can always put it in neutral if I need to whenever I'm parking the car. But for the most part, when I'm shifts into second, after that, at the end of the track, I can always shift it down to first when I'm coasting back to the garage or whatever, to the trailers. Like I said, this is going to be a quality build, guys. I am not cheaping out on this. I hope you're just as excited as I am. I'm going to be learning this car. This is going to be completely new to me. Different world, different type of racing, different rules. It's not just putting some slicks on the Hellcat and going out there on the track and having some fun. Nothing wrong with that. But this is official as it gets when it comes to racing. So I'm excited to do that. And now that we talked about shifting, this right here is what's going to do all the shifting for us. Well, if I can hold it correctly, it is called the air-armed system. It's an O2 system. It has its own little compressor. Basically, it's going to sit in the trunk with our fuel cell. So this right here is going to control our shifter from that 1 to 2 shift that we were talking about, and also it's going to control our chute when it's time to put one. Most people have a little cable you pull down and it's good to go. We're going to have a button, so when you press the button, it'll automatically release it through this system right here under pressure. So it is freaking cool. This is going to sit next to our fuel tank or fuel cell in the trunk. We're going to have a metal cage blocking off the whole truck, so God forbid something goes wrong in racing, we'll be safe. There will be no fuel coming towards us. Nothing is sitting underneath the car. Everything's in the trunk. The air system's in the trunk. The battery's in the trunk. All the major components that may or hopefully never go out or never explode or anything like that, we will be protected from. And in this box, you also got a little tire inflator as well, so we can use this to inflate our tires, anything else we need. So it's literally a little compressor that's going to be in the car. That's kind of cool, man, especially when you're dropping the pressure down for racing. But wait, there's more. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our 10-gallon Rhodes fuel cell that's going to be sitting in the trunk of our car. It comes already with dual fuel pumps in here for 525, I think, LPH. So it's ready to rock, guys. Look at this bad boy. Look at the welds on it. It's done so good. Great quality on there. You can mount it and wire it however you want to. Like I said, ours will be in the trunk. 10 gallons is plenty, even if we're getting 3 to 5 miles per gallon, if that. I can still daily drive it, or at least drive it to car events and stuff like that. The quality is amazing. If you remember, I talked about, instead of putting 2 different fuel pumps in our old tank, which cost like 1,600 bucks, this was half the cost, and it's done right. It looks good. It'll keep us safe. And I gotta say, man, it's freaking coming together like a race car, dude. This is so awesome. I'm excited. And if you made it this far, I just want to thank you guys. And if you could drop a like, that'll be amazing. It means a lot for my channel as it grows and explodes with this build, because I think a lot of you guys are enjoying it. Comment down below, what kind of things do you want us to add into it, or custom things to make it feel a little different. Also, we are stuck between 2 names for the car. Either it's going to be Spicy Cheeto, which is kind of cool. I gotta say, it looks like a Cheeto. It's going to be spicy. Or Joe Dirt, because, well, if you've seen it, the movies, you know what he's talking about when he wanted a Charger as well, Daytona. So it's kind of cool, but whichever one you guys like, comment down below. That will be the official name for the car for our race crew. There's a lot of awesome content still coming for this channel, guys. We're exploding. We're growing as fast as we can, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for being part of this team. We do have new merch incoming, guys. I will have the link down below. Obviously, this is not it. It's the first shipment. It'll be here by the next video, hopefully, so you'll see me wearing it. If you want to support us, that'll mean a lot, because every shirt, everything we make from that, a few bucks that it is going straight to these cars and to this build to make this team grow. And we're gonna have a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much for supporting. Enjoy your lives, enjoy your cars and your builds, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace.